today we're gonna call a sound man. And the sound man that we're going to call is Ray Cuban from Jack Cuban. Right? So let me get Ray Cuban here on the line right now. Well, see, hopefully I can play the version in the background. Let me call Ray right now. Yes, I. We upon Ray fiance call.
Hello.
What go on, Ray?
Yo, what's up?
Yeah, man.
Chipley, Wagwan.
Yeah, man. What you David? You good?
Yeah, man.
Enough respect, man. Thank you for first of all, thank you for being on this program. Thank you for taking the time out for talk with we and reason with we. Yeah, man. If anyone doesn't know who's on the line right now, we're talking to Ray Cuban, from Jack Cuban, original Jack Cuban from South Florida. You see what I'm saying? So Ray, I just want to hold some little reason. You're the first person I call upon this part of the program here where we just call a sound man.
Right.
You see me I say? So
Right.
you're like the blueprint, you know what I mean? And we can't do nothing wrong. We just like a reason
Okay.
like some sound man with a reason. You see me I say? Yeah, man.
Right.
But I don't really know. I don't know Ray, I don't know Ray. I know Jack Cuban very well because I remember. I remember when I was coming up in South Florida. Me the bad road still, I deal with something and Ray I go on with my little thing but me hear about this Jack Cuban and me hear say loaded with dub plate and Ray and yeah man and made a impact for yourself, a name for yourself in South Florida and the scene. You see me I say? And that is how I hear about Jack Cuban. Till me and one of the selector them became very good bridging. All to this day we're really good bridging. Him all make the link Louis Rockers. You see me I say? So
Yeah.
man. So all right. So me have some question for you, Ray. Right? When was the sound birthday? Like when did Jack Cuban come about?
I mean, there's not like an exact day per se. But if I had to like put, I can give you like a year more or less, and I would say that year was like 1998. We have a friend who, like, I guess, he kind of named us without really naming the sound. So like I think he heard one of the guys on the sound very early days of the sound. He was trying to like mimic or imitate a Jamaican accent.
Yeah.
And he was just kind of like, oh, like, what are y'all Jack Cuban, meaning like you guys are Jamaican and Cuban, or like he was confused, but we were just kind of explaining to him, no, it's like a hobby or something we're getting into, and we're just getting into the culture of it. And then Jack Cuban went from like Cuban Jamaican to like which we never claimed to be. So it just went to Jah, as in Almighty Jah.
Yeah, like Ja, yeah, like cause it's spelled Jah
Right.
Cuban. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, man. So have you stopped playing or you still playing out as Jack Cuban?
Man, in my head, I play every day, but it's been a while. As you grow older, you have kids, you have responsibilities, and sometimes the stars don't really align the way you like them to align. And so long story short, I stopped playing a few years back, but I still love the music. I still love the culture of selecting and sound clash and all those things. But right now, I'm just kind of at a pause.
Yeah, man. So if you're just tuning in, we're talking with Jack Cuban's Ray Cuban, founder, right? The founder of Jack Cuban, true?
Well, yeah, it was three of us, four of us who really who organically founded the sound. As I mentioned, it wasn't even a sound member who named the sound. It was our brethren who thought that we were Cuban Jamaican, so he called us Jack Cuban. And then we played music, and we just really couldn't come up with a name better than Jack Cuban.
Okay, that I love the name still. It
Yeah.
explains what it is. It coming like like Black Chinese. Black Chinese is
Right.
another thing, and it shows it really shows the diversity of dancehall and the whole energy, because it's not just a Jamaican thing. It's for all of us. You know what I mean?
Right, right,
Yeah,
right.
and the culture is for all of us. So that's how I look at it. It's a wonderful name from conception and a whole vibe. What I have a question for you. What do you think is the difference between a DJ and a soundman or a selector? What do you think is the difference between like say what they would call like a DJ, like
Yeah,
what
yeah.
like the world calls a DJ, but what's the
Right,
difference
right.
for a soundman like a Jack Cuban opposed to like a DJ, you know?
I believe in, and this is a question that or this is a topic that I've discussed with another friend from Belize. We were on a road trip, and I mean this was probably like 20 years ago, but I think like a DJ, what the world deems a DJ is someone, oftentimes, at least back in the day, somebody without a face. It's just
Mm-hmm.
somebody playing music behind turntables. It could be at a party or a wedding or whatever. You just, hey, you need a DJ. You don't care who. But I think like a selector or somebody who's like a sound man, I think they tell a story. They tell a story of like the music,
Yeah.
the era of the music, the place where they come from.
Yeah.
And they tell that story through artists, sometimes through dub plates.
Yes.
And I just think a selector is just more of like a community leader. Sometimes you speak for your community. It's not just a DJ looking for a couple $100, to play at a wedding. It's somebody that's passionate about the music, and they'll sacrifice themselves for the movement or the forward, for the music to advance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Does
Yeah.
that make sense?
Yeah, it makes clear sense to me, and that is why I'm inspired to do this segment, is because I want people to hear a lot more from the sound man, to understand
Right.
the investment, to understand that it's not just we call it a hobby, because my dad was a
Yeah.
sound man, right? And I saw my dad pump so much money into Lee's Unlimited, where if he didn't have that sound, he would have so much land, so much wealth, because he,
Right.
he was
Right.
a wealthy man. He made a lot of money because he had an electrical company. So when I see
Right.
him, I grew up with in Lee's Unlimited as my big brother sound. You know what I mean? That's like that, like you have a big brother when you grow, and like you're born and you saw
Of
your big
course. Of
brother.
course.
Yeah, that sound was my big brother. I could born and see this thing, and I saw what the investment is, and I've realized that there's a lot of sound systems that them would say park. That like them park, them not
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
them not play. You know what I
They're
mean?
not active. Yeah.
Them not active, and I find that to be a lot of investment, kind of just almost down the drain. So
Yeah.
at this point, that's how it would seem at this point. So I really want to be a part of being able to can build more bridges, because unity is strength, and the best times that I can remember ever having musically is in a dance. It's not even at a
Yeah.
stage show. And that's not just being a selector. I'm serious. Like the times when I feel like I'm levitating and I like want to lose my head, the way that it is so nice,
Yeah.
is that a bad selector, a bad sound, a play a bass or this year, a Stone Love, or Jack Cuban, whosoever, them just bring this whole energy that make me feel like me I got insane the way it nice. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. Right.
Yeah, man. So, let me see here, 'cause I don't want to go off course. We're talking with right now. We're talking with Ray Cuban from Jack Cuban, Carla Soundman Selector. Yeah, on the radio right now with Chip Lee the Performa. Keep on playing is the name of the program, I Radio. So, what is your most memorable dub plate moment, Ray?
Man, that's I wasn't expecting this question, but
Or just
that's
one, even just one.
no. Well, I mean, I'm very partial to like Beres Hammond,
Yeah.
and when we voice music, a lot of the times one of my goals was to meet the artist and be there with them. I just felt that dubs, they sounded better. That's not always the case. You can't always do that. Um,
So
but
Ray, not to cut you,
yeah,
but what you just say is a very. I talk about this already upon the program, and I'm glad to me I get to talk to some
okay,
different brethren about this. Is that time when you linked with the artist, like you link up
yeah,
with the artist, and you got the dub in person. So you're saying that it's you to you it feels you feel like you get a better quality when you're there with the artist.
Yeah, man. Especially with us not being Jamaican,
Yeah.
a lot of times the artists, they would kind of like be in shock. It would make them happy just that the music is spreading beyond,
Yes.
the island or whatever. So when we voiced Bears Hammond, I remember I was in the studio in his house, and it was like we were coming back up. We had this little clash at Banana Boats. It wasn't a clash. It wasn't set up like that, but we knew what it was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And
Which song? Which song did that play? Which song it was that?
I can't remember exactly,
Yeah.
but man, you
It's
gotta
all right.
forgive
It's
me
okay. It's
because
okay.
it's been a good 20 to
Yeah,
22
man.
years or something like that.
Yeah.
But I remember we played the Bears, and man, I just know that like it was like it's our time now.
Yeah.
Underneath a step aside, and I dropped step aside now. Another Jack
Yeah.
Cuban come to think,
Yeah.
and it was fresh.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was there when it was. And so just to
Man.
answer your question, I would say it was that Bears just
So you think that's like an
was yeah.
anthem then? You'd call it like one of the
I, w-
anthem.
a lot of dubs. I mean, a lot of our songs have that song, so I wouldn't call it like a Jack Cuban anthem per
Mm.
se. But I just know that like what I went through to get it. I know how I felt when it was being voiced. I was there, and it's just it's a tune that makes me feel proud. Like
Yeah.
of Bears is always, man. It was Bears and Buju and Bounty when I was growing up. Those artists, even before Cartel and all of that, because believe it or not, Cartel came later. We started the sound in like '98, as I was telling you,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I remember Cartel being more popular like around the mid 2000s, like
Yeah. Yeah.
2004, five. Timeline is a little blurry to me
Yeah, me know
because
what
it's
you're
been,
talking about, man. And
but yeah,
cartel them they talk about that all the while. Him
yeah,
call himself the teacher, but him
right,
also very honorable to
of
acknowledge who is
course,
there before him as well.
yeah,
Him don't act like him come and
Y-
invent the thing. Yeah, he just
yeah,
was
yeah,
is
yeah,
a
yeah,
part
yeah,
of it. You know what I mean? Like all of
yeah,
us were a part of
absolutely.
it. So that is
And
very very.
everybody builds on the prior generation because Bounty
Yeah, yeah. The last Jack Cuban, hello.
is to build
Ray,
on,
yeah,
so
you cut out for a moment there. So you say bounty. You said everybody builds off a generation, like
yeah, everybody builds off the generation because
well, it coming like
Spraga.
I don't know, the service kind of chip out a little bit and I come
Okay,
forward. Yeah, so
just
yes,
let me know when you could hear me. Okay.
I'm hearing you good right now. I'm hearing you perfect.
Okay, yeah. No, I was just mentioning that every artist builds off of the previous generation.
Yeah,
In the '80s, you had Early B, Yellow Man, Nicodemus,
yeah,
Super Cat, and all, and then the later '90s, late '90s artists build off of those guys. It's all one.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Straight. I say go. So what is the most memorable clash where you say you ever like you ever been in with Jack Cube? Cause you're a selector too, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
what is the most memorable clash where you can remember where you say, yeah, like you say yes, like whether it is something that was good or bad, but you learned from it, like
Yeah.
it was most like it profound, it stand out. Even when I ask this question, it's like it just like loud in your
Yeah.
head right now.
I honestly would say it was the first clash that we were ever involved in officially,
Hmm.
which was in 2005. And it was like the 45 clash that it used to be held at Madhouse
Yeah,
in Coconut Grove. And I remember like it was Mix 96 was doing this clash every like Sound Clash was really popular in those days, and
yeah.
they were doing like 45 clash every month.
Mm.
And I remember going and dropping off a CD. I think it was for Joey Buttafuoco or one of his partners or something like that. I dropped off the CD, they booked us on the clash, and it was like it was our officially we had little scrimmages here and there,
Yeah, yeah.
but it was like officially our first clash. And one of the rounds was supposed to be a dub plate round, which it was. But I thought we were gonna have the clash in the bag, because at the end of the day we ended up going against a Japanese, a good brethren of ours still,
Hmm.
but it was a Japanese sound, and we ended up losing the clash, man. It was crazy, but
It's stand out because of the experience.
it stand out because of the experience, and just it was a life lesson, which I think that if we would have won the clash,
Mhm.
there was nothing to fix, but because we lost, we
Ah,
we
man.
had to have a conversation with ourselves and say, yo, what could we have
Yeah,
done
me love
better? Like,
that,
what
man. Me love
happened?
that. Yeah,
You understand?
yeah.
So, because you're not gonna win everything, and every day is not your day.
Yo, me
So,
love that, man. Cause we just
and
had talk about that
yeah,
with the Jamaica match yesterday. Cause enough people vex.
yeah,
Yeah, no,
yeah,
enough people vex. Man, I tell you so. I
right.
tell you say, you're not gonna always. We can't win everything, but if you learn from it, you win.
Yeah,
I actually just said that on the program earlier on. It's like if
yeah,
you don't really lose if you learn something. You know what I mean? If you learn from that
exactly,
experience, you didn't
exactly.
lose. You
And that's the
earn.
same thing with life. That's what I always tell people, man.
Mhm.
It's like you're gonna lose more days than you win.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's how I go.
Yeah, man, but you win same way. Yeah, man. I love
Yeah,
it, man. I love it.
yeah.
So, if Ray, at this point, when you think of all the money where you invest and all the time and
Oh
everything,
man,
would you do it again?
I think I definitely would. And this is a question that I've kind of like asked myself, if you could go back in time, because at the same time, man, you do this for like 20, 30 years. You invest a lot of your emotions, a lot of money. It's not just so much the money, it's the emotions.
Yeah.
And it's like, but you learn so much, and you gain so much experience, and you meet so many people. And I have so many friends that without dance hall I probably would have never met.
Yeah.
um I traveled. I wouldn't say as much as some other selectors, but we traveled to places where, if it wasn't for reggae music, I would have never gone to or experienced. Or so, I think the experience of life
Yeah.
should always be appreciated. And there's no amount of money
Mhm.
that I think you could put on life experience. And yeah, I would definitely do it again. I mean,
Nice.
absolutely,
Yes, I.
absolutely, man.
So you basically you're saying that the experience it surpass anything where you could have looked, but you can't look at it as anything bad because it is so much. You've gained so many memories that you can reflect
Yeah,
on. That you can say, yeah, I learned from this. I learned from that. Again, the learning
yeah.
thing. What's the most if you don't mind, the most money you ever spent on one dub plate? You don't have to tell me which dub plate. Like how much is the most you ever spent on one dub?
I think it was $500.
500 on one song.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you hear
on
that
one.
people, more want people. That's why I want people understand this thing. I hear people are play dub plating, and a lot of now we're dealing with a time where people are a lot of splicing. So it's not. I don't think it's as
Yeah,
exciting, because it could be a lot of different things that generate the dub, and you know what I mean.
yeah,
So it's not as exciting as I think it was when you knew for a fact. So when somebody playing a song or an artist
yeah,
is that artist, you know what I mean. We have a few more questions for you because we have about 5 more minutes, I'm really grateful for you to take your time to speak with me
yeah,
today.
man.
What is the least favorite thing that you're about being a sound man? Your least favorite, your very least favorite,
Ab- about being what?
being a sound man, being on of a sound system. Is there a least favorite thing?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think my experience, or our experience as Jack Cuban, is a little bit different. To like, if you were to ask this to a regular Jamaican sound, or
No,
like
me
a,
I ask
a, a
you
Caribbean sound.
more you're from, so nobody
But
worry
for
about what
me,
nobody else. Yeah, you more
but
here.
but for me, being like, what you would call like light skin, or white, or whatever,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
was very difficult for certain artists, or certain promoters, or certain people in the industry,
yeah,
um to first to take it serious. Like, all right, this guy knows what he's doing. It's just, So a lot of times they don't think that you know what's going on, or they you understand them, or that you know the history of the music. So they kind of brush you off.
Yeah.
But on the second side of that
Yeah.
is all the they a lot of times they would think we were just some wealthy guys, like
Yeah.
just voicing dubs. And it was very hard, to explain to these guys, like, look, man, I'm probably more broke than you are. I'm from
Yeah, yeah.
I'm from another Caribbean island that's even
Yeah, so
more
I'm gonna
poor
watch
than
skin
Jamaica.
color,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
things.
So
Yeah,
I think being judged by your skin color,
yeah.
and not to be a victim or anything like that, because it is what it is.
No man,
We're
a
just gonna
reality
go
man.
through it.
Me like this, because it show different avenue. It show people say, people
Yeah,
with that people think that racism, and I know it's a topic or whatever, but we all have a
yeah,
little bit of that thing there in a way where we look at somebody and the texture of them hair or them skin, and they face a different angle than what somebody else face. So everybody
yeah,
might think say it's just because you're black or this or that is you face racism, but
yeah.
people face it in all kind of different thing, and enough people didn't have anything to do with anything hate. That's all love that y'all showing as
Right,
Jack Cuban, and showing
man. I
up and
couldn't.
saying you want to be a part of this culture, you want to be embedded in this culture and just not being taken that very serious.
If I walked into a studio like in Jamaica or in New York,
Yeah.
it was like, you swear, money man
Yeah,
just
the money
reached.
reach, the
Yeah,
money,
yo,
the
Uncle
brinks
Yo,
just
bro,
pull up.
man, money. And I was like, yo, let me tell you, man, I'm born in Cuba, man.
See,
Like,
see, see.
hey, man, about the AC,
Yeah, yeah,
like, oh yeah. So I
yeah.
was like, I was living in Miami,
Hear that?
Westchester,
Yeah,
no air conditioning for like 7 years after we arrived from Cuba. So it was
yeah,
like I was roughing it up here, and all of a sudden I'm a rich man. Like the
yeah,
way they're
yeah,
looking at me. It
yeah,
was a
yeah.
weird
Yeah,
thing
man.
to get over.
Yeah, me know the feeling, brother. Me know it. Me know
Yeah,
it. Me know it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But again, and that's what we're glad say. We're winding down right now. But I definitely like that you're shining this light, because enough people see the glory, but them don't know the story. And
yeah,
We're talking to Jack Cuban, Ray Cuban right now, invested into a sound system years without fears. Jack Cuban that made a name for themselves in South Florida and across the world as a sound system operator and owner and selectors. You know what I mean? And we're gonna talk to the rest I selected them to. We're talking to the other bridging them from Jack Cuban at a different time.
yeah,
Cause you have a bad boy there when him Scarface too. That him the normal. You see me?
yeah.
Yeah,
Scarred, yes,
Scarred. Yeah, and a
yeah,
Scarface, Scarred, Scarface. Me
yeah.
don't watch what they up on
He's a real
Netflix.
madman.
Yeah, him no normal bad boy
Yeah,
selector that you see me. So we're gonna talk to some different people. Ray, I thank you so much for your time today. And just keep on playing. That's the name of the program. The
yeah,
name of the
man.
program is Keep On Playing. Never stop playing, Bridging. Blessed is those who never lose the
Sure.
heart of a child. And I think that's what the music do. Keep it childlike, you know what I mean? So big up yourself, my king, and keep on playing. Enough love and enough respect.
Yeah, man. Appreciate the call, man.
Yeah man, enough
Anytime.
respect. Yes, I
All right, love.
love.